Alright, this is BBG, the Big Bad Game-a-thon, and we're coming down to the final couple of runs. And coming up next, we have a grudge match, a four-way race, ignore what it says on the title card, between Brossentia NPC and Janglestorm in the NES Back to the Future. Now, if you've never seen the NES Back to the Future, I want you to take the intro song, The Power of Love, right? Speed it up about 8 times and play it on a loop that never ends for about 20 minutes. That's what we're looking at. It has to be heard to be believed. But first, we've got a little bit of setup. So hang out with the music for a little bit. We're going to get set up, and then we're going to be back with Back to the Future.
Hello everybody, I think you should be able to hear me now. I don't know, I'll find out in a few seconds when everything catches up, but we are just getting everything set up and finished here. And then we will be ready to go. We're just sorting out the timer. Give us a couple of moments and then we will be off. I'm afraid you're going to be hearing that terrible music loop for a very long period of time at this point. This game has all of, I think, 2 music tracks, and this is the one you're going to be hearing the most.
All right.
And Corndan is here, which would imply, I think, that we have everything set up time at this point. Maybe?
Oh, yeah, we're ready to go on my end.
Excellent.
So, we'll do here, just like Fyzzu Grande, we will start the timer when we see movement.
Wow, it's almost like a real race.
Almost like a real race, yes.
We're counting down right now. We will start the timer on movement. I'm excited. Are you excited, Corndan?
I am. So, only seeing movement on one screen here.
I'm seeing everyone moving right now. Do you need to refresh the streams?
Quite possible.
I saw Brossentia moving first, and then everyone else directly after that.
We'll just set this up, we'll be fine. Timer's still going, but it'll work. Welcome to sitting behind the screens here.
Welcome to Big Bad Game-a-thon, everyone.
Welcome to Big Bad Game-a-thon.
Okay, Brossentia... I think Brossentia is in lead at the moment, NPC in second, Janglestorm in third, and Kowal in fourth, but this is quite likely to change. I don't think anyone has screwed up horribly yet, but this game gets a lot more difficult.
Yeah, and so all those Comcastic things like the stuttering we saw before are going to be magnified because we got 4 people. It will come around here in just a minute.
I mean, we can try and do this like a radio thing and just narrate what's happening. At the moment, there are bees.
There are bees. So bees are pretty much the biggest thing you have to worry about in this game because they're hard to hit and they fly around a lot.
And to answer that question, yes, that is supposed to be the power of love. Specifically, if you slow it down by about 2 or 3 times, it is the power of love. They just sped it up an awful lot for reasons. But yeah, right now, if you haven't seen Back to the Future before, you basically have skateboarding stages, I think 3 of them, in between other mini-games.
So they're not skateboarding per se, but they end up being that way, right? Marty is running to other important events in Back to the Future, and you can grab 2 power-ups, a bowling ball, and then if you have the bowling ball becomes a skateboard.
Yeah, it's basically it's an auto-runner section as you're moving through these bits. But yes, the skateboard is the fastest way to move, so grabbing the skateboard is a thing that they will all be trying to do. It looks like NPC has lost his skateboard, unfortunately, but he has found another one, so he will be rocketing along shortly, and frankly, I expect everyone to lose their skateboards at some point.
I do here as well.
And I'm not surprised if you can't tell that this is the power of love, because until I actually listened to this slowed down heavily, I couldn't tell either. Things are going to get interesting, I think, when we get to the first mini-game at the end of the this skateboarding bit. The mini-games are arguably the more interesting part of this, but maybe I'm just saying that because I've seen Back to the Future a lot, and about 80% of it is the auto-running levels.
Yeah. So the mini-games are the important things here. The mini-games do tend to... the first one is the diner, right, where you have to throw, was it coffee?
50, they need to throw 50 milkshakes or root beers or whatever they're supposed to be at the approaching bullies. If the bully reaches Marty, then Marty will be lobbed out of the door and will have to do the previous running skateboarding level again to get back here. This level will go on up to 99, I think. So what you ideally want to do is to take out 50 bullies and then let the 51st one reach you and throw you out the door, because that counts as success. It may well be root beer floats. I've honestly never really tried to analyze the sprite work quite so carefully.
The only thing I know is that she gives you milkshakes to throw.
Yes, the milkshakes, or whatever you are given by the nice waitress who approaches, give you milkshakes, which are a smart bomb. And yeah, Brossentia is in the lead.
Yes, unfortunately, it looks like we are getting Brossentia and Kowal a little better in now, and we'll be we're still trying to work with NPC and Janglestorm here.
The one other bit of tech I should explain, I suppose, for that diner segment is that what they will often try to do, since we're back to another skateboarding bit and we have plenty of time to explain the skateboarding tech, is that they will often not throw or try and beat the 50th bully. They will try and hit the 51st one to appear instead, because the 50th is closer to them, so it'll throw them out the door right.
We're going to try another brush here and see if that'll catch us up with NP and NPC. They should both all be at basically the same location for whatever reason. We were not getting things to...
Kowal and Janglestorm are both doing the level end bonus thing right now. Brossentia, I think, is still in the lead by a little way, and NPC, unfortunately, is behind, but there is still plenty of time to catch up, because Back to the Future is a very cruel mistress, especially with the RNG of some of the enemies in these streets. One thing that you'll see them doing quite a lot is hanging around near the bottom right of the screen. I forget the exact reasoning for this, but it's to do with the bees, I think. It's because they tend to approach from the left, and if they reach the bottom of the screen, they will despawn. So if the players are at the bottom right of the screen, there is a good chance that the bees will hit the bottom of the screen before they hit the player.
We're going to keep trying to refresh here, guys.
Do apologize for any difficulties with this restream. I'm trying to keep you informed as things are going on.
Botsy and Comcast are just not cooperating with us here.
No, we had to have problems with Botsies at some point.
Well, and it's not Botsy, it's Comcast.
Always blame Comcast. It's usually their fault. Okay, at this point, Brossentia is just entering the last skateboarding level before the second of the minigames. Corndan, I don't know if you have a moment to explain, but can you kind of explain how these auto-running segments work? If you're too busy to do so, then I can attempt to.
No, no, I can explain how the running sections work. So the running sections, basically, every level they're going to have about 4 or 5 points where they can pick up a pickup, so a bowling ball or a skateboard. But they're basically just littered with enemies. There's 2 things you got to worry about. One is there's basically 2 timers. One is clocks, right? Like there's a time to do things, and then there is also the clocks, which restore the picture in the middle, and if either one of those basically goes to nothing, you die.
So essentially they need to pick those up, but right now we have got everyone at the school where they have to break Lorraine's heart, because Lorraine is blowing kisses at Marty, and if you've seen the film, you know that Lorraine is Marty's mother. So that's a little bit wrong, and Marty needs to use what I assume is a textbook to block those kisses. And once again, you block 50 of them, and then immediately fail, because 50 is what counts as passing the level. Looking good, Marty. Better get to the dance. So having successfully broken Lorraine's heart, which is one of the weirdest objectives in a game, I think. Either way, no matter how you phrase that, whether it's your objective is to break someone's heart or that your objective is to prevent your mother from blowing kisses at you, that still sounds really weird. But now they're off to the school dance to try and get Marty's mum and dad together. Which means we have some more skateboarding, some difficult skateboarding.
Yeah, so the farther you go in this, the more difficult the skateboarding gets.
Kowal is not on a skateboard at the moment, so I assume he got knocked off it, unfortunately. So that's going to give NPC a moment to catch up. But yeah, the skateboarding, in terms of all of the obstacles that you wind up with along the way, the oil slicks, the enemies, the garbage cans, everything becomes much more numerous and much more threatening. Yep, I think NPC is now in 3rd place, with Kowal just very slightly behind. The bees are indeed horrible. It is, as I said before, it's probably for the best that they figured out a fairly good way of dealing with the bees, in terms of just hanging out at the bottom right of the screen. The right edge of the screen in particular. You can hopefully see that on NPC's screen at the moment, where the bees are essentially just flying straight down to the bottom of the screen and then despawning. Because of the way they kind of try to circle around towards Marty. Listening to this right now, I'm still trying to figure out in what way this is the power of love. I know this is the power of love. I've heard it before, but oh my god.
It's the guitar line to Power of Love sped up about 3 times.
So what would you say, where does this rank in the pantheon of Back to the Future games, in your opinion? Is this one of the better ones or one of the worst ones?
So it's definitely, I would say it's the least, in a lot of ways, the least Back to the Future game. In that it has Marty, and that's about it, right? It has things from the movie.
Is that including Back to the Future 2 and 3? Because that's a weird game.
That is a weird game.
There is, I mean, the one that everyone forgets and the one that I feel like would probably be at the top of the list would probably be the Telltale point-and-click Back to the Future game. Just because that's actually a pretty well-made adventure game. While everything else is kind of weird. Oh no, Brossentia's run out of time. As in real life, time is your true enemy in Back to the Future. It will eventually kill you if you don't keep picking up clocks and avoiding bees. Remember everyone, pick up every clock you see and don't touch bees, or you will lose time and you will eventually fade out of existence. This is just how things work. But you can see pretty much how difficult everything is, just in terms of whether they're on a skateboard or not.
Yeah.
You know, they were going through the first couple of stages really, really easily, staying on the skateboard pretty much the whole time, but now you are seeing them with a lot less. And now, Kowal is up to the dance, which has the second music track in the game, which is a rendition of Johnny Be Good. And in this, it's basically a rhythm action game. You essentially need to hit the notes at the right time, and if you know any musical notation, if you know what's a flat, what's a sharp, then it's a little bit easier because you can tell whether you need to have the guitar at the top, at the middle, or at the bottom. And there we go. Kowal has successfully played Johnny Be Good, and Lorraine and Marty's dad, whose name I cannot remember, are together. And the past has been saved. Now all he has to do is get back to the future. That's a title drop. But first, of course, we have more skateboarding. George McFly, that's it. Thank you, the great Seniko. Of all of the mini-games, the Johnny Be Good one is probably the easiest one. It can look kind of hectic, but again, as soon as you realize that you instantly know where a note is going to hit you as soon as it appears on screen, depending on whether it is a sharp or a flat or whatever, it gets a lot simpler with that. But now, Marty, now we have to go back to the future. And unfortunately, doing this will require roads. NPC has now finished up the high school dance. Yeah, notes in the middle, flats on the bottom, sharps are high, and they come in from the left and the right. It's not as bad as it looks, when compared to the ridiculous precision needed for both the diner and blocking Lorraine's hearts, at least. I would argue that that is probably the easiest of the minigames, as soon as you realise that fact, anyway. But everyone is motoring ahead. And there is still plenty of time for people to change places as well, because these auto-running sections are rough.
Yeah, so the important thing on these last sections that you have to be very careful about them. If you lose the skateboard basically at all, it's like a death sentence. It's super tight. If you fall once, you cannot hit anything.
Yeah, if you your timing on these levels is super tight, and you lose so much time if you fall off the skateboard as well, that it takes a while for you to pick it back up again. The interesting thing about this course is I assume that we are going by speedrun rules on this, which is that in the very last level, it doesn't make that much difference if they're in first place or not, because they have to succeed by going at 88 miles per hour, or they will get stuck in the past. So it is quite possible that 3 people will fail on that and the 4th will manage it. There is still time for everything to go horribly, horribly wrong, believe me.
I'm gonna try to get another refresh in just so we can see where everybody is.
Kowal has reached the driving stage where he has to dodge random lightning bolts.
So we're gonna try to get that set up in here. And I know you guys...
He's taken a lightning bolt, he has slowed down from 88 miles per hour, 30, 40, 50, and that's a failure from Kowal, unfortunately. First one to finish, but unsuccessfully. Tough luck, Marty. It looks like you're stuck here. Next one to watch is Janglestorm, who again has taken a hit from the horrible lightnings. And another one.
We'll try to refresh just so we can get him here. We know we'll not see it, but at least that'll grab the closest thing.
Jangle has made it to 88 miles per hour. He has made it back. All of his time travel is behind him. Maybe.
So Janglestorm got second, right? And actually succeeds.
Brossentia at 81 miles per hour. So Brossentia is also stuck. Let's see if NPC can manage it. The last runner to finish may actually be the second place. Come on, NPC, we have faith in you. You can do this. 88 miles per hour. NPC makes it back to the future. Which means that we have, in first place, we have Janglestorm. In second place, we have NPC. And in joint stuck in the past, we have Kowal and Brossentia.
Hello there.
Hello.
Hello.
We're rating you right now.
Okay. This is really hard to see.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Oh my gosh. Did you all enjoy the race?
It was really hard to see because apparently Comcast doesn't like 4 streams at once.
Comcast?
Comcast, please.
Oh, everybody blame Comcast real quick, but oh my gosh, everything fell apart to me like halfway through.
I was telling the audience throughout that like it doesn't matter if people are behind early on because the later skateboarding levels or auto running levels are really, really difficult. And not only that, but you can reach the very final bits trying to hit 88 miles per hour first and then mess that up and you lose. So which was what happened?
Yeah,
You really need to bring it up.
I didn't get 87, I got 81, but still. Oh, so close.
81
Kowal
you got
was
down if I hit 88.
Yeah, we're saying Kowal took last because he got the lowest.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. That works for me. So that would be, I think that's Janglestorm in first, NPC in second, Brossentia in third, and Kowal in last.
I resent your ordering. Your ordering is nonsense.
I absolutely don't mind.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I mean, I think I announced it as Kowal and Brossentia as joint failures, so you can take that if you prefer.
Yeah,
I'd be okay having it's like we're conjoined failures.
It got weirder than I was expecting it to get.
That's a bit different, Brossentia.
Well, no, we can like staple ourselves together.
No, please stop talking.
Kowal, I'm excited to see you at the next marathon.
I bet you are. I'll be wearing my bulletproof vest in all sorts of ways to not be stapled.
Okay.
Wait, let's be honest here. The real winner is Comcast, who actually got to see all 4 streams.
Comcast!
Comcast.
Yes, well done, Comcast. You truly won that race. And I do apologise to the audience that went stuttery and horrible and so on and so forth. But hopefully you got the gist of it and enjoyed it. Hopefully.
You know what?
Yeah,
We'll when we fix the issues, we'll just make them play it again.
We actually were talking.
I'd be fine. I want to read.
Decided that we want to do like a bi-weekly Back to the Future race tournament.
Okay. We are looking for more things to do with the BBG channel. So it sounds like we have a Back to the Future race, Back to the Future League, I suppose.
Also, my honor has been besmirched, and these 3 gentlemen must pay for it.
I can understand that, but yeah, we are. I will quickly say that Big Bad Game-a-thon is not the only thing that we do on the Big Bad Game-a-thon channel. We did the Big Bad 10 earlier this year, which a lot of people participated in, and we will have all sorts of events coming up over the coming year as well.
All right. Well, I think they're being asked us to hand it back to them, so we'll hand this back to our gracious host Tristan.
Sweet, thank you again.
Thanks. Was fun.
Bye.
to, wow, all of those people, Brossentia, Corndan, Fyzzu, Janglestorm, Kowal, and NPC for that Back to the Future race, and despite the technical issues, it was a good watch. It was entertaining. You know, we are still a young marathon. We're going to make a mistake every now and then, but I hope it was still entertaining to watch. Coming up next, we have Dowolf with the legendary crap game, the Densetsu no Kusoge, Hoshi wo Mirohito. If you thought Dragon Warrior was kind of, you know, Dragon Warrior is a good game, right? This is a copy of Dragon Warrior where everything went wrong. Everything went wrong. Buckle yourselves in. This is the penultimate run. This is some of the worst we've got. Get ready. Kicking it over to Dowolf now with Hoshi wo Mirohito.